Hi, this is Dr. Vicente, and welcome to this video lecture for Educ7060 that focuses on this question: what does leadership capacity really mean? This video lecture is really meant to be a stimulus, not a substitute for the reading that is assigned for this week. So I invite you to listen to this video lecture and have a critical, reflective mindset. It would be best if you saw this video lecture and treated it as a follow-up to the two readings that I encouraged you to look at last week. The one that looks at The Making of Leaders by Bragant, and the one of Zaccaro that looks at Trait-Based Perspectives of Leaders. Once you have a good grasp of those two initial readings, you will be able to make greater sense of this particular reading. This week's reading really is a focus on the work of Linda Lambert, particularly her book Building Leadership Capacity in Schools, that was published by the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development in the United States of America. That's the ASCD. In that book, and as reflected in this article that she wrote, she defines leadership capacity as an organizational concept that encompasses three traits: broad-based, skillful participation in the work of leadership that leads to lasting school improvement. In this article, and also in her book, she outlines what she describes as capacities, levels of leadership capacities. The first one is low leadership capacity schools, which she says tend to be principal dependent, lack a professional culture, and are significantly unsuccessful with children. She then moves on to describe what she refers to as moderate leadership capacity schools that lack a compelling purpose and focus, are governed by norms of individualism, hold few conversations among members of the whole community, and suffer from fragmentation and polarization. This is what she describes as the medium capacity schools. She then moves on to describe the high leadership capacity schools that are learning communities that amplify leadership for all, learning for all, and success for all. I'd like you to critically interrogate these concepts that she created, and I also want you to reflect on this. In your experience in educational institutions or in the organizations that you are a part of, do you see these stages of leadership capacity existing? Low leadership capacity, moderate leadership capacity, and high leadership capacity? Furthermore, do you think that these categories are still applicable in today's society, knowing that this was written about 20 or so years ago? One of the compelling questions that Linda Lambert asks is the following: if high leadership capacity schools are good, why are they not always able to sustain improvement? That's a very intriguing question that she raises. She then moves on to talk about what she describes as 6 critical factors. Number 1, she looks at the school community's core values. Second, she looks at teacher leadership alongside principal leadership. Third, she looks at educators and the need for them to define themselves. Fourth, she looks at the imperative to invest in each other's learning within the school. Fifth, she looks at broad-based participation as a tenet of leadership capacity. And finally, the 6th one, she looks at the political landscape as essential for leadership capacity to flourish. Again, I invite you to use this article essentially as a stimulus. To use this video as a stimulus as you read this week's article alongside the 2 previous articles that I assigned you for last week. That's our video lecture today. Thank you, and I hope that you are able to critically reflect on this theme for this week.